It really is. Good morning, Giants. This is Nick Smith on Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm here with Lamarr Norwood. We were having some technical issues. Let me show you what it felt like to have technical issues here. I'm going to share my screen because this is pretty much it right here. This is how I feel about this show this morning. I want to welcome Lamarr to the show. Ryan's going to join us in the comments because every time we brought him in, there was a big delay. And so, Lamarr, just briefly giving a heads up of who Lamarr is. He's a national certified coach. Is that right, for fitness?
Yes, sir. Fitness and nutrition.
Been working on that since 2005. Used to be an EMS, a paramedic. Is that right? At some point?
Yes.
And so you started noticing
to do it.
You say that again?
In New York City. That's one of the craziest places to be that. But I love every minute of it.
Yeah, and that's where you saw, issues with people's health, and that really wakened you up to changing things and helping people to do the same. Is that accurate?
Yeah, definitely. That was pretty much the birth of me actually taking a step and taking a leap into becoming a person to get into the health and wellness of people, because the experiences that I saw, as much as I love doing the job, I usually was the last resort. And at that point, I was either responding to a cardiac arrest or responding to somebody who was probably maybe months away from a cardiac arrest. And at that point, sometimes people are so buried through their situation in life, they felt like, why make a change now? They were stuck in their ways, and that's just what it is. So that was the shift that moved me into wanting to get into a space where to help people ahead of time at the very end of their rope, so to speak.
Yeah, nice. So preemptively change their lives, get ahead of that. Is that right? Yeah. Well, let's dive into your story, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's dive into your history a little bit. There's still a little bit of a lag here. This technology today, our internet went down, and so there's a little bit of a delay. So hopefully you can bear with us on this. But let's go back to your history. What was life like for you growing up?
Man, it was interesting, man. A lot of experiences as a kid. Regular family. Fortunate and blessed to come from a 2-parent home, and then I have an older brother who also was in uniform service, was a police officer for over 20 years. So definitely service was in our blood. Both parents are veterans, and for me, started off in the Air Force and then ended on the EMS. But prior to that, like as a kid, man, just a regular kid who saw the world as a canvas and was looking forward to trying to figure out how to that canvas. Experienced a lot of racism early in life before I even knew what it was, but it never deterred me from like the hearts of people. As a kid, I was jumped when I was about I'll say like 11 years old, and first time somebody used the N-word toward me. So at that point, I didn't understand it. I just knew, get my kicks in, get my punches in where I can get them in, and then get out of there. So, but just never deterred me. It never gave me a bad mouth when it came to people. Never gave me a bad taste in my mouth when it came to interacting with people with different races, and just grew up in just a multicultural environment, man. So by the time I was 13, mom was stationed in Denver, Colorado, and that was the first place I went where I was like, wow, there were so many interracial relationships, and my mind was blown. I was like, wow, people could actually get along, and that was exciting for me, man. That was like one of the best experiences for me to see that, in spite of the physical obvious differences, that people had hearts just to love and show love to each other.
So, as you mentioned, you kind of worked through that. You had this experience. You didn't even know what it meant. How did you use that to get to where you are today?
for me, that just gave me more of a heart for people, man. It was just knowing that usually the issues that people deal with that lead to those different areas of identifying differences are usually things underneath, or usually come from a foundation of this is what they were taught, because this is all they know.
Man,
I didn't always follow. This is what I was taught, so this is all I know.
Lamarr, my tech is really, really bad. Can you pause for a minute? I think I'm gonna jump out of this. Give me 1 second.